So, how to not go broke and homeless in the Philippines or any other country where you're 8,000 miles from home, or, anywhere where you're very, very far from home. First off, you got to be realistic about what your savings is. The $1 million question in all of my consultations or in my live streams is always, how do you make a living? How am I going to make a living in the Philippines? And that is obviously the $1 million question. People will ask me during a live or in the comment section of my videos, how are you making a living there? And I will tell them YouTube. Is YouTube going to work for everybody? Probably not. Do you have a pretty high chance in the Philippines? Yes. But that aside, you need to have a chunk of money when you come to the Philippines. Your age will determine how big that chunk of money needs to be and whether you'll be back home shortly if you don't know how to manage money or you cannot figure out a way to make some money. If you can even make, $1,000 a month while living in the Philippines, if you don't live a high lifestyle, that can almost sustain you or, keep you from depleting your fund heavily every month. Some people can live out here on $1,500 a month. If you're living in a city like this one we're looking at, you might be closer to $3,000, minimum $2,500, I would think. But hey, different people have different spending habits and ideas of what they need to do on a daily basis. But at the end of the day, the thing I've always told people, how did you come here at 45? I want to come out there, but I got to wait till I'm 66. Well, that would normally be the case. But for me, I wasn't happy where I was, and I somehow had a chunk of money. It's very hard to get a chunk of money. Most people live paycheck to paycheck. Most people are not, sitting on $100,000 in their bank ever at one time. Even if they have a Mercedes or they have, a fancy lifestyle, they are probably living check to check. They are probably, maxing out their credit cards, et cetera. But in the end, I had some money and I had it for a while, and I had been thinking about Thailand. And when I started to see my money go down, I said, this is a once in a lifetime opportunity. You got to go for it. Never in a million years did I think I would make money on YouTube, but it happened. Basically, you need to come out here. I would say you need a minimum of $50,000. Try to have 100, try to have $1 million. But realistically, for people that I'm talking to, you're going to be in that area, okay? And then, with me being 45, here's the way I played it out in my head in order to justify leaving at 45 in my best earning years, as my father put it. I figured if I go spend 4 or 5 years in paradise with the money that I got, and I got to go back home at 50 and grind for 18 months to make 6 figures and then double back and do it again, rinse and repeat, I'll do it. The mistake a lot of people make is, for some odd reason, these guys I see begging for plane tickets home in Facebook groups from random strangers and stuff like that, apparently they don't have any credit. I have quite a bit of credit. Do you ever want to use your credit? No, you don't. Could you use it on a rainy day, especially if you got like a 0 APR card or, some type of thing like that, or a low APR card promo or something? Certainly you could. But you never want to resort to that. But, if you were a fool and saw your money get low and you were just so in love with the Philippines or you're Filipina that you didn't immediately go to your home country and get to work for those American dollars or Western dollars, you could technically use that money to get yourself home and get yourself a place, et cetera. But say you don't have that. The minute that you see your money hit a certain level, whatever that level is to you, whether it's $10,000, $20,000, $5,000, you should go home. That would be how you stop from ending up on the street or homeless in the Philippines. Also, a lot of people usually have 1 or 2 people, your mother, your father, if they're still alive, an ex-girlfriend, a buddy that can help you to get on your feet if you don't want to, immediately blow your last 5 or 10 grand on securing a lease. Because like I was talking to the guy I did a consultation with earlier, it's $2,500 for a decent place to live in a major city these days for sometimes a 1-bedroom apartment in like LA and stuff. So if you got a person, usually you're going to have a person that collects your mail for you, whether that's your mother, your father, your brother, whatever. you know, perhaps they could let you stay there and you can kind of hit the ground running and just live low if your plan is to come back to the Philippines. But really, you just want to avoid going homeless in the Philippines. And the only way to do that is when you see your dollars get to a certain amount, take credit out of the equation, you get on an airplane and get yourself home and get to work. I don't care if you work at McDonald's or Target for $17 an hour, because that's what they pay, and you just, you know, crash on someone's couch for, you know, whatever you can pay or whatever. You just get back and you live low, and then you double back and come back. A lot of guys that are in this situation, they got a newborn kid, they got a Filipina they're in love with, they got a wife, and maybe, you know, they don't have the ability to bring her back, or a girlfriend or whatever, and they, you know, Filipinas passports don't work that way. So the simplest thing in the world in any country, whether you're in Thailand, Philippines, South America, is when you see your money hit that magic number, I don't care what you're doing, if you're having a ball, this and that, you get home and you figure it out. There's only one way to do it. You're not going to get a job in these countries. Opening a business is risky. If you haven't figured out some way to make digital income, which is obviously the golden dream, you know, if you're, you know, a lot of these guys are retired military guys that were injured in the military, they get $3 grand a month. You're living like a nothing in America. You're living like a star in the Philippines. If you could figure out YouTube and squeeze, you know, $500 to $1,500 a month, that could help you supplement your income. If you could do Cambly, CAMBLY, teach English. That's what a lot of YouTubers did before their channel got off the ground. People always ask me that, and you know what I tell them? How do I make money in Southeast Asia? I tell them what I do, and then I say, however you make money with your phone or your laptop or your iPad in America is the same way you make it here. There are no golden opportunities at the call center for foreigners to make big money. People out here are working for $7 to $10 a day. Do you want to work for that? I didn't think so. So you can't become the next star real estate agent. You can't open a business by yourself unless you do a dummy corp or do this and that, but you're probably not going to be equipped to do that. And there's other pitfalls that come along with that. That's another video. But that's just the bottom line, is know when to fold them. You know what I mean? If you come out here with 50 grand and you get down to 10 grand, you better start looking for flights. You get to 5 grand, book a fucking flight. You should have done it at 7 or 8, so you could at least grab yourself, you know, a little studio apartment and get a job or whatever you got to do. And this is if, you know, you have no one to stay with, you have no assets. A lot of guys have rental properties, a lot of guys have assets, they have vehicles, they have jewelry, they have whatever. You know, that's your own thing. But the simple way that you see somebody begging for money or starving in a Manila or a Bangkok or something is because they didn't know when to fold them. And that's in any situation, in any country. You got to know when your time is up, your money ran low, and you couldn't figure out that digital hustle. By all means, if you try to do YouTube, I never in a million years thought I would have made a penny on YouTube. It's been very good to me. Try YouTube, try Cambly, get into coding, get into drop shipping, get into whatever you can get into. But your telephone and your laptop and your iPad, whatever, that's your way to make money in this country. That's it. Never ever end up, you know, like that. Don't spend all your money on your Filipina or build her a house in her name. You never ever know, as sweet as it might seem at first. You know, we all know the story of the guy that got interviewed by the Dumaguete guy who got put out after he remodeled a house or bought a house or something and ended up, you know, starving on the beach. Don't be that guy. Conserve your money. Rent. Do not, you know, bring your 50 grand out here and remodel or build someone a house and then get put out, or she breaks up with you or whatever. Now, normally is that going to happen? No, but at the end of the day, you got to plan for the worst and hope for the best. So you definitely need to conserve your money, rent condos, eat at home sometimes, find a girl that's got a couple bucks. And again, for the 100th time, the magic thing to do is, if your money ever gets low, which I hope mine never does, head home and get to work. All right, guys, just wanted to do a quick video on that. I guess common sense ain't all that common these days. Seen it happen to a lot of guys, and I don't want you to be next. Blessed to have came over here at 45. Some people say I'm late, some people say I'm early, but I'm happy with the timing of what I did. And I will catch you guys on the next one out here in front of the beautiful Chase building. They got it lit up for Christmas. I'll go live weekdays at 9 a.m. Doing consultations for the next couple of days for $50, and the price goes to $90. $50 for 60 minutes. $90 will be up to 90 minutes. And Sana all. Beautiful night in Bonifacio Global City, Chase building. Uptown, baby.